Hi all, it's Dale from the marketing team here, and as you can see from the title of the slide deck here, we're excited because we're releasing some new features. It's not a full MF release, but I'm still as excited as I always am come release time. I'm joined today by Jack, who is the product owner for job ticketing. We'll be running through some exciting new features that we've been working on and are going to be pushing out this year in a couple of weeks, and then launching to the public at the start of 2019. So I'll throw over to Jack to kind of run us through where we're at.
Great, thanks. Yeah, so we're really excited about this one because this is the biggest update we've made to job ticketing since its release, and it is the one feature that everyone's been asking for. There are a few other things in there too, but the major thing we'll be talking about today is that feature that everyone's been asking for. So where does it fit in? If we look at the workflow of job ticketing, the part that we've been getting really feedback about is that web submission component. So it forms a place where people can go and submit their jobs, track the progress, and that's really been going well. The integration into PaperCut MF, so that's the security side, having clear logins, making sure that there's a secure place for people to check in on their jobs. That's also been something that people have responded really well to. The operator workflow side has been good, but specifically relating to the cost management. So people love the integration into the shared accounts. They love the integration into just people's personal accounts on PaperCut. But the bit that has been missing was the bit where we calculate the price upfront, give some estimations on what those would cost. And that's the bit that we've been building. It's been a big project, but we're really happy to be able to show it to you today as a first look. Okay, so let's have a look at the feature. We're going to get started on the user interface where we've already got a storefront built up with a bunch of products that are offered. This looks exactly the same as it always has. So let's go and place an order for a document. And we'll see the bit that's new is this little piece on the side here where we can see the estimated cost getting calculated live. So right now the cost is 0. We haven't started doing anything yet. So I'll attach a file and let me upload this document. This is just a quick 2-pager, but what it does for me immediately is it has a look at that PDF document on how many pages we have, and in this case it's 2 color pages, but if this was a combination of color pages and black and white pages, it would actually do that calculation for me and and immediately populate the cost of this job. You can then go and change your paper stock, which would influence your price, and it does all of this live. You can go and select single-sided or double-sided. That would also make a difference. And if you wanted anything extra in finishing, like for instance, adding some stapling, that adds a cost too. This is a really expensive $5 staple. I hope your customers don't end up charging that sort of money for a staple. And then you'd still be able to go and pick the account and do everything the way you would before. Let me just pick a due date and make sure that I give this a title. Document order, so I can go and submit this job. So next, let's have a look at a different type of order that we can place with a print room. So the example I'm using here is a business card. And the reason this is a good example is because we've also recently released another good feature that works quite well in combination. So you'll notice immediately that there's no file upload section. This is great if you're doing something like a business card where maybe the print room staff is doing the designs for the staff and they don't want staff doing their own business card designs. It can also be great if you're trying to offer things like university hoodies or caps or anything else really that isn't a print related product or doesn't require an upload. So I'm just going to fill this in. Business cards, I'm adding my name, I'm adding my job title, I'm picking my office location, which in this case we've locked down so people don't have to go and add the whole address and everything, and we can make sure that's in a nice consistent format. Here we go. And as we're updating our material weight, you can see that those prices will increase and decrease. So you can see which cards we have. We've got different sizes. And the one thing we've done on this example too is that we're not actually including number of copies because no print room wants anyone to order 27 business cards. We're ordering these in boxes of 50, 100, 250. So I'm going to say, listen, I'm expecting to travel a bit. I want 250 cards, and it gives me that estimated cost right away. All right, and let me submit this job.
Yeah, so as you can see with the kind of the new additions, job ticketing's always been great from a positioning perspective for those organisations coming from quite rudimental systems using paper and email and spreadsheets to manage orders. But now we've kind of taken it to that next level where you can actually start to compete with those more advanced solutions. So going up against your higher end storefronts. We now have a very good solution that can compete with them at a really good price point for those print rooms who are looking to do that upfront cost calculations, doing those more advanced job types like business cards and custom printing on jumpers and that type of thing. So yeah, it's now a very complete solution that you should be able to position into most organizations looking for a print room solution.
Right, so now that we've seen what it looks like, we'll be deploying this to everyone around December 2018. Very important though is that even though we're deploying this, we're not going to be making a full noise to everyone out there until we've given the channel time to prepare for this.
Yeah, so basically, so we've sent out email communications to everyone this week, and then basically come start of January, we'll look to then make some more public announcements about it on our website and in the product itself under the new items area. So yeah, basically the only way a customer will be able to discover it is through the release notes. So it'll be very low kind of impact, hopefully. So it'll give you time to get yourself aware of what's happening before we actually go public with the release of that.
Yep. So everyone out there, their software will keep working as it is today. They might, in the settings area, discover a new area where they can assign cost scripts, which might trigger a call to you, but that should be a pretty rare occurrence, and we'll make sure that you have that opportunity to go and contact them first, because there will be some opportunity for you to do some additional professional services as you configure these scripts, which are quite similar to print scripting, and get them set up so they can start getting the benefit of this feature.
So Jack, the other big thing that we've done with job ticketing is that we've added the now ability to have multiple versions or different versions of job ticketing running. So this is another request that's come in to try to differentiate a little bit between the different types of rooms and customers that are using job ticketing. So there's now 3 versions of job ticketing. So the 2 that kind of already existed within the product, but they were kind of labeled the same, was job ticketing for Fab Labs and job ticketing for print rooms. The third and new version that we're introducing is a very exciting one, and I'll let you do the reveal. Is job ticketing for mini rooms. So basically what a mini room is for those kind of organizations that aren't running the full production print room, but they have 1 or 2 MFDs that are used for managing printing on behalf of other users. So people are still submitting jobs to a person who's then managing the printing of them, but they don't have the full production print room set up like in the picture next to it. So they still need that web submission side of things. It's just not as complex an operation as the 2 kind of other ones.
Yep. And for the mini rooms, the way we've set this up is that we've also limited the features in a way that also minimizes your setup time and the professional services you need to offer. So the one feature that it does not have is the cost scripting that we just showed in the previous piece, just because that's a complicated thing for you to go and set up. We're also limiting the number of products they're allowed to offer, and we're limiting the number of workflow elements. So it's supposed to be something that you can drop into a site really, really quickly, set up something basic where you upload a file, you pick the paper size, and you select whether it's stapled and hole punched or not. So imagine something like a school with not necessarily a print room, but someone doing copies on behalf of a teacher. That is probably the most likely area where you'd see it. Print rooms is still very much focused on school districts or larger schools where they actually have potentially production print machines. or it's just something where they have people really working on it, and it's a central location. They want to make that whole interface a bit easier. They want to make the charging easier. So have that distinction quite clear in your own minds. The other question that we always get is, why do you split up Fab Labs and print rooms? And the simple reason is because we were confusing Fab Labs until today. If we ended up with something called job ticketing going to a Fab Lab, they actually had no idea what it was, because the whole name of job ticketing is actually something quite specific to the print room environment. So we needed something that specifically caters to Fab Labs. So you'll be seeing some new web pages coming out that specifically cater to people. It allows us to market more directly, showing the benefits that exist for a Fab Lab environment. But in terms of features, you could very easily have a print room that also has a 3D printer, and you can have a Fab Lab that also contains a printing machine, or whether it's a plotter or a poster printer or something. We're not going to limit those features, but we do want to speak of them quite differently so that Fab Labs feel that we're catering for them, and print rooms feel that we're really catering for them.
And Jack, from a pricing perspective, the mini rooms will come in at a lower price point as well, just to help make it easier to get the job ticketing solution into those organisations that don't have the budget there for the solution.
That's correct. So Fab Labs and print rooms would cost exactly the same as job ticketing has to date. They keep the same pricing, whereas the mini rooms are exactly 50% of the price that the existing solution is, and we want to make it pretty easy for people to go and just do an upgrade. So same as you would for other features, if someone wanted to go and upgrade a year from now, 6 months from now, you could quite easily just go and upsell them with that additional 50% discount or that additional 50% that they would need to pay in. We want to make sure that's really easy for them to do. So it makes the whole conversation a lot easier to go in and say, hey, we've got a great job ticketing solution for you. And they go, right, this is maybe not the price point we're looking at. You can pull it back that one step, and then you have the potential to upsell them again later when maybe they've got the appetite for it, the budget for it, or they just realize that maybe those extra features are things they really do need.
Yeah. So this will be going live as part of the next release. So when the cost calculator goes out, you'll also then see the new versionings in there as well.
So just to make this a little bit more real of what the licensing would look like, I'm just going to do a really quick demo of setting up a new environment. So you'll see now the one change is that we can actually show how many licenses we have. You're allowed to have a combination of different licenses. So in this case, we've got standard print rooms and we've got a few mini rooms in here. We currently have no room, so we've also added a bit of new onboarding flow just to help people out. So I'm going to create a new sandbox room. My new mini room, or no, I'm actually going to make a standard room. So let's just create that. And immediately it says, right, what does my room offer? Go into the room and go and see what's in there. So I can close that. I might just go in there quickly to show you. It'll actually start leading you towards your settings, but that's all things we can explore on a different occasion. Now let's assume I've done all my setup and I'm ready to go live. So at that time, I will now hit the action button and I'll go publish. And at this point, it'll ask me, what kind of room is it? I have a few rooms available. In this case, a standard print room and a mini room. I'm just going to pick a standard room. And this is the license that it'll use. It'll subtract one of those licenses. I've used one of my 5 published rooms and 0 of my 2 published mini rooms. And that is how we'll be picking those licenses. So pretty easy, and you do that at the time of publish. Up until that point, in your sandbox, anything's available, and any limitations, like in a mini room, will be applied at that point by just limiting the number of products that actually show up and whether the cost feature is switched on or off. So fairly straightforward, nothing really for you to go and focus on in the product itself.
Yeah, so as you can see, we've got some awesome new additions to the job ticketing solution, which make it really a competitive product from the print room perspective and from a Fab Lab perspective. Really taking us to the top of the list of solutions out there. So thanks for your time. I hope you all enjoyed. If you've got any feedback, just shoot it through to the product team at product@papercut.com. But other than that, everyone have a great end of year, and we'll see you in the new year.
Thanks for listening.